So this is day 2 of attempt to take myself seriously and do something with my life. And I guess I want to speak about the fact that I believe that my desire to act does fundamentally come from a deep dissatisfaction with my life and the world around me. Or perhaps just like really intense ADD. I find it interesting that, the thing that has gotten me most interested in this world is the fact that it is a world to become interested in. I remember going to the movies when I was young, and I mean to this day, totally, and reading books when I was young, and to this day, totally, in which it was never the lighting that was beautiful, it was never the lines that were beautiful, it was like the complete and utter like alterity of the situation, and I always wanted the movies to continue and for it to like blossom into a life, and so I could understand the characters and like know what they had for breakfast and know in the dumbest way what happened happily ever after. There was this deep desire to create these longer worlds because nothing was ever enough for me, because these worlds weren't real enough, they weren't big enough, they weren't my world. And I think that's interesting. And I mean, maybe that's problematic too, because it is just like, well, if you were satisfied with who you are, then your goals in life would be entirely different and your motivations in life would be entirely different. And I mean, that's perfectly true, but I don't know if I am a person who is capable of sitting and just being one person for her whole life. I was thinking the other day, a few months ago, about like how do married people stay with one person for their entire lives? Like, don't you get sick of one person, after 5 minutes, like 5 months, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and then I stopped and I realized like I am stuck with myself for my entire life. If I am supposed to be an endless subject to myself, the other people are endless subject, and it's really strange how I think that this, desire to get away from that, unfortunate reality that, as much as I believe in non-dualism, like, I can hit my hand against this bed as many times as I want, and I will never merge with this bed. I can hit myself. This is sexual. I can hit myself up against another person, as many times as I want. And I will never be that person. I will never become that person. I will always be sort of stuck with myself in my world. And I mean, you read philosophy, or, you fucking listen to inspirational speakers, and they always tell you about how the world is endless and possibilities are endless. But I mean, like, the scientific mind tells you that ultimately that is kind of bullshit. I mean, there are boundaries in this world, whether, we like them or not, or whether they're, ultimately, waves or particles. We don't know. I mean, maybe if they're waves, then there aren't boundaries. But I don't know. I find it insane that we as people are stuck as people. But we're not stuck, but we are stuck. Because, I mean, nothing's going to, I mean, at least at this point in our lives, like, there are no new frontiers. The mind, I feel like, has limits, if only because, like, not because we've been told that there are limits, because we just believe that there are. And, sort of like in the same question of God, like, what C.S. Lewis is like, well, you must ask yourself, like, we think hunger is there because we feel hunger. We think God is there because we feel God. It does the same exist for a limit? Which, I mean, you could ask that question about anything, which is the entirely problematic nature of this debate. It's not even a debate, it's just this course, this journey, this, like, why am I thinking about this right now, and why haven't I, packed up my car and driven? I mean, because I'm insecure, and because I think this is a crazy plan, and because, like, I don't think I'm thin enough to act. I'm also doing this, like, totally at my ugliest. So it's scary. But I don't know, it's Why do we throw our bodies around questioning and throw our brains around and vomit ideas at each other? No one vomits ideas except for me, apparently. Everyone else has more self-control than I do. But I don't understand that. And I wonder if anyone does. And I from my investigations in academia, no one does, which I think is also extremely problematic. As I have alluded to the FAB sessions many times, maybe that is what ultimately the act of questioning has become. And it's not that I don't enjoy being heady, it's just being heady for, asking questions for the point of asking questions leaves you with absolutely nothing except questions at the end of the day. And that to me ultimately seems very empty. So I want to do something. I don't know. Let me know what you think or something. Bye.